Is National Awareness Month for something that affects more than 30 million people, irritable bowel syndrome. Now, while it sounds awful, it's actually very manageable if dealt with correctly. Joining me this morning to talk a little bit more about that issue is wellness expert Cassie Sobelton. Thank you Sobelton. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
It's a pleasure.
And I understand that you actually have had some experience with a digestive disorder as well.
I have, yeah. So much of my younger life, I didn't understand what was going on, but I'd have a lot of digestion issues and, bloating and not being able to digest food properly and didn't understand. And then I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in my early 20s. And I was put on a lot of meds, a lot of different pills to take, and it wasn't fun to manage. And I decided to take a little bit more of a holistic approach and studied a lot on nutrition and yoga and mind, body, spirit integration. And within about a year, was able to reverse the use of all those different meds and the symptoms as well.
I'm a firm believer in that too, that
It
sometimes
helps.
a holistic approach could definitely help you. But let's focus on now IBS. What are some symptoms? How should someone know whether or not it's something that they need to go get checked out?
Right. I mean, there's, of course, from severe to not so severe, and some of it can just be bloating, maybe constipation or diarrhea, not being able to, not feeling right after eating different types of food. And there's a lot of different things you can do to combat that. We can start to keep a diary and understand what it is that makes you have problems with your digestion. That as far as adding in some different types of things into your life. So one of the things that I did that really helped me was taking an enzyme.
Okay.
And so enzymes are something that we need to take with food, and we usually make them in our body, and they also are in raw foods. But if we're not eating as many raw foods or we're not making these properly, taking that can really help with those digestive issues.
Now, how does somebody know the difference between whether or not they have IBS or if they're just sick? Sometimes you can be sick for a couple of weeks and be experiencing problems with upset stomach.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times things will come in and out of our life. So how much stress do we have in our life? Are we eating properly? Are we exercising? Because even moving can really help digestion. Are we drinking enough water? So people who may even have some of these syndromes or symptoms, they'll come and go in their life. So if you can learn how to manage those properly, you might never need to go have surgeries or medicine, and that's the goal really at the end of the day.
Okay, so just knowing the symptoms, how to treat them, and then paying attention to your body whether or not things start to improve.
Right, exactly.
And get better. What other advice would you give to anyone at home who's sitting there thinking, oh, maybe I'm suffering from IBS?
Yeah, I would say to start watching your diet, see if you can clean it up on your own. You can always go see a specialist. There's a lot of doctors, if you go see your physician, they can refer you out. But first starting to get in touch with yourself and your body and know how to manage it. Taking a probiotic is a wonderful thing to do. That's great. Of course, drinking enough water, eating real food. So this happens to be one of my favorite brands. We were talking about this.
I love Kind bars.
They're great. And so now they've come out not only with the nut bars, but they actually have different lines that are grains, so that if you have nut allergies or maybe you just don't want the heaviness of the nuts, much less calorically, but just having those things in your life and being prepared. So, going out into your day with your water and with your different snacks that you can tolerate is going to put you in a position where you're always ready. You're not going to have to go through and eat some foods that you might not anyways, and it might upset your stomach.
Well, Cassie, thank you so much. Wonderful advice. I really appreciate you being in here to help bring awareness to this very important issue that so many people are suffering with. We'll be right back with another news brief right after this.